Hello. How are you guys doing? Let me get a thumbnail. That makes me look bug-eyed. Alex literally just walked in the door, and I am going to get food at the grocery store because A, I'm hungry, and B, we're about to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. He got Chipotle for dinner, and he was like, do you want Chipotle? I was like, no, I don't want Chipotle. So, I don't know really, to be honest with you, what I want. I kind of like fall into the habit of where I like eat the same things every day. And I get kind of tired of it. What did this person do? Did they like hit something? It just got so dark. Do you guys want to see like some of my favorite houses in my neighborhood? I love our neighborhood. It's so pretty. But I will show you these little houses up here that like are, I don't know why, they're just like little salt boxes, but I love them. I think they're so cute. This is my favorite right here. I love that house so much. This is Indiana Spring. Trees are in full bloom. Can you even believe it? I have an hour left of my audiobook that I've been listening to, Bird Box, which is so good. A couple of people were like, I really didn't like it. I'm like, I love it. And I'm gonna go the long way so I can vlog for a little bit. But I was like, I love it. And yeah, I was like hoping that the light would turn a little bit. It is, like, somebody said you'll really like it. It's kind of spooky. I don't think it's necessarily spooky. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just really a good book. It's very, you don't really know what's going on, if it's about aliens. I don't know if you'll ever find out what's going on. It's just a really good book. So if you're looking for a good Audible read, Bird Box by Josh Mallerman is really good. And, yeah. I was like drinking this coffee and I was like, I think I'm thirstier for some water, and I actually have this big thing of water with me that supposedly keeps your water cold. We'll see. I filled it this morning. It's not that cold. It's kind of lukewarm. Feels like a water fountain in the middle of summer outside. You ever like go to a water fountain in the summertime and you're like ready for really, really cold water, and then it just isn't cold water? I hate that. It's like warm, you're like, ugh, I was so excited for ice cold water. Let me tell you about my day, of which I really have done absolutely nothing. I went into my office because they were gonna fix the air conditioner and they needed me to be in there. And then I wrote for a little bit, but I was just real distracted, and they just never came. So finally when I was leaving, I was like on the phone talking to somebody, and like my landlord came by and he was like, okay, we're here to fix your air conditioning. And I was like, this air conditioning thing is a problem every year, and they put a new unit in last year. So anyway, I left and I went and got coffee and I ran a few errands, and I got home, and honestly, I was like, I had all these ideas for videos that I wanted to do today, but like they had to be like really motivated videos. Like they were videos that I would have had to like actually put some time and effort into, and I just was exhausted. Do you ever have just days like that where you're just really dragging your feet? And so I was just really dragging today, and I was like, I just don't have it in me. So I was like, I'm gonna take a nap and see how I feel when I get up. And I laid down at like 5 o'clock, and at like 7:30 I woke up with the dogs, and PB let me hold him the whole time that we slept. So at 7:30, I woke up and I took the dogs outside. It's so beautiful in Indianapolis. I like walked around Broad Ripple today where my office is, and I sat on the patio and read at my house for a while before I went into my office. It's so beautiful. I think that's part of it. It was like, I just didn't want to like do anything today. You know, I just wanted to sit and read. And, but I was like, And then I watched Shane Dawson's video, and I was like, I really want to make a response to this. So I filmed a response video to that, but I didn't make videos for my other 2 channels, except for my vlog. This vlog, obviously, I put up. And then Alex came home, and we were talking about Mother's Day, which is always like 15 people, and nobody wants to get dinner reservations. So we end up going somewhere where they don't have dinner reservations, and then we wait 2 hours. And then everybody is like, why are we waiting 2 hours? I'm like, I have learned to just let it go. I've learned that I don't need to be in control, that I can just be the husband. And do you know what I mean? Like, do you ever get to that point? I have learned it is sometimes better for me just to float. So, but I do need to do something for my stepmother. So I need to tomorrow get on that and maybe take that out there or something. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Because I'm sure, like, different, I wonder if florists deliver on Sundays? Well, if not, maybe I can just have some flowers delivered to her tomorrow or on Saturday. So anyway, she would like that. But anyway, I'm just like, okay, just go with the flow. And, you know, that's kind of like where I was like at like a couple months ago or like a month and a half ago, where I was like, just whatever is asked, just do it. Just do it. You know, it makes your life a lot easier. Oh, where should we go to dinner tonight? Like, I don't pick dinners anymore. I let people, so if I say, okay, where do you want to go to dinner, Alex? Because I don't really care. I'll go, just pick somewhere. And if he goes, you know, Texas Roadhouse, I'm like, okay, Texas Roadhouse, let's go. I just don't fight it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, you guys, that you can't see because the lights are behind me. And honestly, it has made my life so much easier. And then if somebody says to me, no, you pick where you want to go. And I go, okay, Olive Garden. And then they go, oh, God, I didn't want to go to Olive Garden. And I go, well, then where do you want to go? Because I'll go wherever you want to go. And then they go, I was really thinking Cheesecake Factory. Okay, let's go to Cheesecake Factory. It makes life so much easier, you guys. And that's really not like an Alex and I thing, because Alex and I don't really ever fight over restaurants anymore. It's interesting, like, and that's like something that's come out of counseling. We've really minimized. Okay, here is like a thought that I have, that a lot of couples fight over petty little stuff, and then the petty stuff really causes major tension in the relationship, which leads to bigger arguments. And have you ever had like an argument with your partner, or your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and it's like, or even, you know, parent, friend, where it's like, it starts off on something small, like, you know, who took the trash out? And, well, I took the trash out for the last 2 weeks, you know, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, and then all of a sudden, like, the fight is so big that the fight is having you're not having the fight anymore, you know what I mean? And one of the things that Alex and I have really learned to do, because when you've been together 10 years, like, you don't fight really about the big stuff anymore. I mean, you just don't, you know, like, I don't think you do, like, you know, like, I mean, I think like the big stuff at the beginning, I don't know, like, you just don't fight over the big stuff, you fight over the small stuff, like the dinners and who took the dogs out and who did this and who did that, you know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of stuff that you argue over, and you've been in a relationship for 10 years. Well, if that stuff leads to bigger arguments, that's a problem, because it can, you know, really affect the tension overall in the relationship, which I think is what was happening with us for a while, you know? And so we don't argue about the little stuff anymore. You know, we just really don't. We don't argue about the going places for dinner. You know, it's like with the vacation that we're planning, you know, it's like, that's something that 10 years ago, we would have been like, well, I want to go here. Well, I want to go here. Well, I want to go here. You know, and it's like the whole, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy thing? And it's like, I'd rather be happy and get along with my husband, you know? It's just not that big of a deal for me. To me, at the end of the deal, where we go to dinner, it just isn't that big of a deal, you know? Hell, okay, so he didn't take the trash out. I can take the trash out too. You know what I mean? Like, I can take the trash out. It's not that big of a deal. And, I don't know. I think, like, that's probably one of the huge things that we've learned as a byproduct of counseling that was not even said to us. That was, eliminate the small arguments and the bigger arguments probably won't happen. And we just don't really argue anymore. I mean, we have differences, you know, we have discussions about things, but we never have like screaming arguments. We've had our fair share of screaming arguments in the past. It's been years since we've been like that, but we've had our fair share of them in the past. We just don't do that anymore, you know? But we have discussions about stuff, you know, or if I say something, you know, and he'll say like, well, that hurt my feelings the way that you said that, or vice versa. If I'll say like, you know what, like the way that you said that I didn't really appreciate it, and he'll be like, okay, well, how did I say it? How would you like me to say it in the future? Or vice versa, you know? And all of it, when you talk about communication in a relationship, and like, it almost kind of seems like this catchphrase term, it's the truth though. Like, that's the truth. Like, having communication with each other and telling each other what you need and all that kind of stuff, and understanding. And if you can have good communication, and that doesn't mean, hey, I talk to my husband, that means that you talk and you're honest with your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that you're honest with them about where you're at and what your feelings are and that kind of stuff. Like, that's the important part, right? Because a lot of times I feel like in relationships sometimes that we kind of sacrifice our own truth for the other person. Like, we don't really tell them what's going on in our heads, you know? And then it builds up as resentment, but really whose fault is that? It's our own, because we're not telling that other person how we feel. And, you know, I have to be honest, a couple things have come up with us in counseling through the last year, you know, where like either myself or Alex is like, I never knew you thought that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I never knew that you felt that. And it's because one or the other of us kept it inside, and we just don't do that anymore. It's just, it's not worth it. So I really suggest to couples, you know, marriage counseling. I always do, even if you have a great marriage. But also, I think like getting books on communication, talking to one another about, you know, not fighting about the small stuff. It just doesn't matter. It really just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like we went to this wedding years ago for a friend of Alex's. She got married. It was like one of his good friends from high school. And I'll never forget the dad, when he gave a toast at the wedding, said to his daughter and his son-in-law, my greatest piece of advice is that marriage counseling is cheaper than divorce. And I remember like the whole audience laughed, and I was kind of like, that's really true though, you know, like, and divorce tears people apart, you know? Like, I don't know that my mom was ever okay after my dad's divorce. Like, it wasn't just a divorce, it was the abandonment she felt, even though my dad did it in a really compassionate way, you know? And, you know, it's just the hardship of all of that, you know? It makes me sad. It's like I put out my video about YouTubers getting divorced, and so many people, I'm sorry, so many people are like, oh my God, I thought it was you and Alex. I mean, I think one thing I need people to know is that I would be completely honest about that. If that were the case, you know, I love Brittany and Baby, and like I say in my main channel, but I'm not going to discuss people's relationships, so I'm not, but she's one of my favorite YouTubers, not just vloggers, but YouTubers. I love her. There's something about her energy that I'm like, she reminds me so much of several of my really good friends. And, you know, I was going back and I was watching a lot of her videos last night. I, you know, heard her talk about her separation and stuff, but like, I watched the video and I hadn't seen it where she talked about getting separated, and I just was so like, I thought that this is how you do it. Like, you just tell your truth, you know? I was so impressed with the video because that's hard, you know? Like, I don't know that people sometimes understand. Like, YouTubers get a lot of shit for the things they say and, you know, stories they tell, and then people want to criticize them for it. You know, have you ever considered how hard it is to get on video and tell your truth? Like, to tell stories of your life? I mean, the people that pass judgment and want to like drag you over the coals and say, oh, this is a lie and you did this, whatever. Well, where are you getting on a camera and telling your truth to even understand the process to pass judgment on somebody that, I mean, first of all, people in my life watch my videos. You know what I mean? Like, my friends and family, my cousin watches my videos, you know? I have some friends of mine that watch every one of my videos. Like, if I was lying repeatedly in my videos, they would call me on it. You know what I mean? They would be like, I don't understand why you're saying this when this is not true. And I think the thing is that when you have a YouTuber that is really trying their best to be completely honest, be thankful for that. Because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that bullshit right through their teeth, you know? And I am thankful for those YouTubers that always tell their truth. Look at this guy right here. He is bringing his wife or girlfriend or boyfriend, I guess, a balloon. What does it say on it? Oh, happy Mother's Day. I guess he's taking it to his mother. And some flowers. That's so nice. What a thoughtful guy. It's the small thing, see? All right, well, I'm going to go in. I'm going to be back in just a little bit because I have some exciting news to talk about. Exciting to me. It probably isn't that exciting to you. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm back. Several hours later, we've watched RuPaul's Drag Race and walked the dogs a couple times, laid in bed and talked, planned Mother's Day, watched Giannis Marshall dance videos that we're obsessed with, and posted my video, and now I'm driving, finishing my audiobook, and if I finish it, I'm going to start Puddin', which is very appropriate, because Julie Murphy is probably, do I want to say this? I think I want to say this. She's my favorite author that I have met since starting BookTube, which is, I'm like going to get emotional about this tonight. I don't even know why. Really appropriate because Friday, when you're watching this, the 11th of May, is my 2-year anniversary on BookTube. And I watched like I don't know why I'm getting like so emotional about this. It's been a long 2 years. It's been like, long before I ever started BookTube, I had my main channel that I posted stupid videos on, and I always wanted to do YouTube, but I have to be honest, like before that I never really like found my honest true voice, like because I was so afraid to just like get on video and be myself. Which is why, like, I feel like it's such a shitty criticism when people say, like, oh, you're this, or you're that, or you're fake, or whatever, because, like, it's really taken me a long time to get so comfortable to, like, I watched my very first BookTube video, and, like, I don't know what other people could take from it, but, like, I can see, like, how, nervous I was in it, and that I just wanted to be part of something. And like I watch that and I see like, I mean, I'm like 43 at the time, right? But like I see this kid, that like just wanted to be part of something his whole life. And YouTube has really offered me that, like YouTube has really, really allowed me to be part of something, and like, BookTube is an amazing place to start. I did a video the other day talking about how welcoming the BookTube community has been to me. Like, no questions asked whatsoever, like, people are just so awesome. And, I just never knew 2 years ago, like, sitting down to film that video. I totally remember sitting down and doing it. And I had started a blog like 2 weeks before. And it's interesting because in the video, I started the vlog the blog like 2 weeks before, which I think I don't have anymore. I don't post on it, at least. But I had it. And then, like, I set up my Instagram, and I set up, like, my Twitter. And, like, I was really excited to do BookTube. Like, I had watched BookTube videos for so long. I was really excited about starting it. And, I remember filming it. I don't really remember, like, the weeks leading up to that. I don't really remember a whole lot more than that. I remember like first starting to watch BookTube because like when my book first came out, which was in 2014, so this would have been two years before that, my supervisor was like, you need to watch these BookTube videos, like send some, I didn't even know what BookTube was, and she was like, send some of your books to these booktubers and they might review it. And I never thought that, like, my life is like 90% YouTube at this point, I mean, like, outside of my marriage and my family, like, my life is like 90% YouTube. And I never thought when I sat down that day and I made that video this is where it would lead, you know, which I think is, like, I'm such a firm believer in, like, taking risks and putting one foot in front of the other, and just, you know, like, I don't know, but, like, I watched that video before I left tonight. I was, like, sitting on the front porch, and I, like, watched it, and because I knew I wanted to talk about it in here tonight, so I watched it, and I hadn't watched it, like, in a really long time, and, I typically watch my videos, not my vlogs, but my other videos. I typically watch them before I post them. And, but then I don't go back and watch videos, like, over again. And so, like, I don't, like, whenever people ask me, like, what's your favorite video you made, like, my favorite video I made would be whatever feeling I had inside when I was making the video. Like, I did a video called Dear Joey, about Joey Graceffa, talking about his mom being an alcoholic, and I talked about my mom being an alcoholic. Like, that's one of my proudest videos. Talking about being bullying, when I showed, like, pictures of me growing up, like, that was such a vulnerable moment for me. Like, that's one of my proudest moments, because, like, that was really a hard video for me to make, and go back to, like, feeling the feelings that I went through at each stage, because I showed, like, pictures from each age, and, like, going back and feeling the feelings that I had with each of those. Like, those are my proudest videos. And my very first booktube video is one of my proudest videos, because, like, that was, like, my first attempt at, I had done bullshitty videos before, you know, like, where I thought, oh, these videos will, you know, maybe get attention or something. And you want to talk about, people come for me for clickbaity titles. Man, I had clickbaity titles back then that I'd have a title that had absolutely nothing to do with a video. I mean, I thought that was the game. And you know, the thing is, it's so funny, is, like, I didn't really care about YouTube at all. I just wanted to make videos because I thought it was fun. You know what I mean? And, it was fun, like, just to make videos and not care about all of that stuff, you know, that goes along with it when you get further into it. I'm talking about, like, before I ever had booktube, but like, I remember, like, kind of having a conversation with myself and being like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. Like, you know, I always said from the very, like, my close friends in YouTube know this. Like, I always said, if I'm gonna do YouTube, I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna be myself. And if people like me, people like me. And if people don't like me, people don't like me. But I'm gonna own my truth. I'm gonna be myself. And this is gonna be one of the first times ever in my life that I kind of, like, step out in the world and I say, here I am, world. And one of the reasons I'm so adamantly against buying subscribers and YouTuber views and Instagram followers and all that kind of stuff was because I said, if I was gonna do it, I was gonna do it on my own. And the funny thing about this is I've gotten accused of stealing or buying subscribers in the past, and I'm like, anybody that knows me has had this anybody that is a YouTuber has had this conversation with me, because I'm, like, adamantly against it. Like, I think it's just horseshit. And I'm like, I didn't care if I had 100 subscribers for the next 20 years. That every subscriber that I gained was important to me and meant something to me. And it wasn't about, because I was gonna look at that channel and know that all of those 100 people that watched that channel were there because they liked me, or they liked something that I had to say, or they hate watched me, or, you know, they were interested in my videos or something like that. But it was never gonna be me looking at a fake number. It was never gonna be that. And so to have the things, like, have turned out the way they have now, you know, like, I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow, but there was a girl that because I'm gonna do a booktube video just about this, but there was a girl that I watched when I first started booktube, like, maybe, like, 2 weeks before that. I found her, and her name was Sarah without an H, and she's one of my favorite booktubers. And she just had a really unique voice, you know, and different colored hair and stuff, and she'd do, like, these like these readathons, and it would be like 7 books, and she'd finish like a third of one, and she'd be like, yeah, I just like didn't do real well in this readathon. And I just loved it, right? Because she loved to read, but like she didn't feel like she had to meet any expectations. And I just was like, I don't know, like it dumbed it down for me. And I remember when I first found her, she had like almost 10,000 or 10,000 subscribers. And I was like, oh my God, she has like 10,000 subscribers. Like, holy shit, you know? And, I never thought, like, I mean, honestly, like if you had asked me at that time, like if you hit a certain amount of subscribers, what would be like a lot to you? And I can remember thinking to myself, like, if you ever hit 1,000 subscribers, like you've made it. Like, I did a video on my BookTube channel. I haven't cried on video for a long time, so let me cry. But I did a video on my BookTube channel when I hit 1,000 subscribers because, like, for me, that was like more kids than I graduated with in high school. That was like a class and a half. And that was like acceptance on a level that I really had never comprehended before. And it felt really nice. It felt like people liked me. And, you know, BookTube's a nicer place than the rest of the, you know, YouTube. I know not everybody that subscribes to me on my main channel subscribes to me because they like me. I know that, you know. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like me and think they have me figured out and think they know all the stuff about my life. And y'all know who you are. I know you guys specifically watch this video and or this channel. And that's okay. But when I hit that number on BookTube, it just was like, I had this moment. I just was kind of like, I can't believe this, you know? And that's why, like, for me, when I hear, like, smaller YouTubers, and they're, like, so upset about their numbers, and their numbers are, like, 5,000 and 6,000, I'm like, holy shit, like, that's a lot of subscribers to a lot of people, you know? Like, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna bring up somebody in here, and I know some people like him and some people don't, but Rich Lux is a very good friend of mine. And I've made it pretty clear lately that, you know, there's only a couple drama channels that I'm friends with, and Dustin Daly and Rich Lux are 2 of them. And I talk to Rich Lux pretty much on a daily basis, and we are both very spiritual people. But I'll tell you something else that I have found in Rich that I haven't found in a lot of other YouTubers that I feel similar to, is a humility in allowing us to do this, to do something that we love so much, and to have, I mean, like, we don't talk about drama. We talk about, like, did you ever think that people would even want to watch us? You know, our backgrounds are very similar growing up. And, you know, when you look at that, and I said to him the other day, I said, I know that, like, on my videos, I'm not getting, like, 120-some thousand views. And I know that it's not like 1 million or 5 million subscribers like a lot of YouTubers. But when I think about the fact that that many people actually even know who I am, like, it's surreal to me, you know? And love me or hate me, it feels nice. You know, it's like in that movie Wonder, or the book, well, I haven't seen the movie, but the book where he says that everybody deserves a standing ovation just once in their life. Like, I wish every one of you out there could feel what that feels like, to just have that one moment, you know? And I thank you guys all for it. I thank you. I stopped saying it in videos a while ago because I thought, like, it just, at some point it sounds phony and disingenuous. But I just can't tell you, like, how much on a daily basis I just wake up and I'm just so thankful, you know, like, for all of it. I'm just very thankful. YouTube has allowed me to do some things that I never thought would be possible, you know? One of which is come out of my skin, you know, and not be so socially anxious and have more confidence in myself. And I think that the one thing that it did tonight when I was watching the video before I left was I realized that I have a living diary of 2 years of my life so far, you know, that like, I looked back at that person like from 2 years ago and I was like, you've changed so much. But then you haven't either, you know, like it's a 2-minute video and that's one way I've really changed, right? 2-minute videos to hour-long videos. But I'm not scared anymore of the camera, you know, like I'm not scared of my own shadow anymore. And that's like payoff enough for all of this, you know? Let alone like having fun every day, coming up with like videos to talk about, and then getting to read the comments that you guys leave where you're like, you know, especially like on this channel and on my Peterisms channel, where people are like, oh, I so relate to what you're saying, or thank you, this video came at the right moment. Sometimes that comment comes at the right moment, you know, like sometimes I'm doubting myself. Sometimes I'm not feeling real good about myself in my personal life. And I get lonely, you know, like I think one of the reasons why I can spot loneliness in other YouTubers is because I get lonely too. And, you know, I got basically my husband and Tanya. And Tanya's on vacation right now, you know, and it's hard. It's like, which I think is why it's important to have other people in YouTube that make videos that understand kind of what you do. And I can tell you right now, I haven't met a whole lot of YouTubers that have 300 friends and are out every day. I mean, I criticize Tana Mojo a lot in my main channels, where I was thinking I haven't made a Tana Mojo video in a long time, but I mean, she's like really kind of the exception to that in some ways, you know, like most YouTubers that I meet, like they really are kind of isolated most of the time with either themselves and their partner or themselves alone. It's hard, you know, like, and that's why like it's important for me that I like get out and do things and, you know, go hang out with my friends. And like today I talked to Melissa for a long time on the phone, and, you know, it's just important for me to do that stuff and go to meetings and, you know, stay friends with my sober friends. And it's just like that stuff is important too, because if I don't have that, then I kind of lose sight of what this is all about. But you know, like, I don't know, it's just a dream life that I live. I really, honest to God, live a dream life. And there's been, I mean, let's just be for real, I'm not gonna bullshit, and I'm not gonna get into it on here, but there's been some shit that's been truly, truly difficult that I've had to go through on YouTube. Some things that were unimaginable that I never in a million years ever thought that I would ever have to face such disgusting behavior towards me. But even in that, I'm not in that. Like, it's not even, I'm not even in that, you know what I mean? And so, and I've learned a lot. I mean, fuck, like I've learned a lot about the world, you know? Everybody wants to know about this, so I'm just going to slip this in right here, okay? Yes, I am still pursuing things. I just needed to take some time off. I needed to take some time off and regroup personally. And kind of figure who I was on the other side of that, you know? Go through something like really pretty traumatic like that. But yes, I am still, and I people ask that all the time, so there's your answer. You can go write that in over there. interesting what people want to know about you. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the things I never would have thought about, like, on YouTube. Like, especially as an uber fan of YouTube, like, I watch YouTubers, and I feel like the YouTubers that I watch that I love, I take them for face value. So, like, if Trisha Paytas talks about, like, being a stripper, I'm not like, well, what strip club did you work at? What year were you there? Do you have tax returns from that year that you were there? I mean, it ain't that deep to me. You know what I mean? It just is not that deep to me. So it's kind of interesting to me when people, like, ask those kind of questions, you know? Now, with that situation that I just talked about, I totally understand why everybody wants to know, and I think that everybody has a right to know. And yes, I am going to pursue it. I have a very long time to pursue it, and I'm not going to go through with the final piece of it until I am, like, emotionally ready to have to deal with that 100%, because y'all know it ain't going to be pretty, okay? So let's just be for real on that. That being said, my ducks are in a row. So anyway, but it's interesting, you know, like, and the thing is like, I don't have a problem ever talking about myself, obviously. I mean, I have 4 channels. When people are like, he's so arrogant, he just loves to talk about himself all day long. You think? You think? Who, me? Of course I love to talk about myself. I have 4 fucking channels. I'll own that all day long. I don't have a problem with that. I think we should all love ourselves more. I used to sit around forever with people that never asked me one question about myself, didn't act like they cared if I was even dead or alive, just sitting there, you know? Oh, really? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. About their lives, right? But I try to make the stuff that I talk about relatable so that other people are like, hey, like, you know, I relate to that too, or that's a story that I understand. I mean, like, that's how I like to have conversations with my friends. It's weird looking back on this booktube stuff. You know, I just can't believe it. It's been 2 years. It's like, and I just, you know, I'm so thankful to each and every one of you out there that watches this vlog every day, whether you watch 5 minutes of it or the whole hour of it every night, if that's how long I make it, or 35 minutes or whatever. I appreciate it, you know, like, Autumn commented and she said, I finally got caught up on all your videos, and I was like, that means so much to me, you guys, that, like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, okay? I have some favorite YouTubers. I don't even watch all their videos, okay? If I skip 4 of them and I miss them, I'm okay. You know what I mean? And that's not a new thing. Like, I've always been like that. Now, don't do that with my channels. Y'all need to watch all my videos. But no, I've always been like that, you know? It's like, and I'll sometimes go back and watch, like, 3 videos that I missed. Do you guys do that? Like, I'll watch, like, the new ones, and then I'll go, oh, well, I missed these 3, and I'll go back and watch them, because I'll be on, like, you know, a binge of their channel or whatever. And I think that's okay. But whenever I get that comment and people are like, I just caught up on all your vlogs, or I just caught up, I mean, like, I don't even know, like, how to express how much that means to me, that you guys care enough to want to watch, or hear what I have to say, or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. And, you know, I want to say this because I haven't said this for a while on here, and a while ago there was a guy that he started his channel, and his first video was basically, like, talking about me. And what I had addressed in there, and this is probably, and then I'm going to make this a shorter vlog tonight. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to make this a shorter vlog tonight. But I want to say this because I think this is really important. Everybody has a story, okay? And, you know, this all stemmed from the Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie TED Talks that she did about the danger of a single story. And I used to talk about it all the time on here. You guys know what I'm talking about? If you haven't seen it, she's fantastic. She's the author of Americana. And in there she talks about each of us having a story, and that each of us need to tell our stories, you know? And I so believe that. I so believe that, like, I click on videos all the time that y'all have no idea that I watch, of people that have, like, 200 subscribers, 50 subscribers, 1,500 subscribers, because I feel like that's where the raw, authentic, genuine YouTubers are. Like, that's where I really believe it is. Those people that, like, are just getting on there because they have watched videos of other YouTubers and they're so excited and they want to do it too. And so, you know, they get a camera and they're like all worried about the camera. Like, I remember back in the day, I was all worried about what kind of camera should I have? Should I have the right camera? Whatever, you know, use your damn phone. But tell your story. You have a story. It doesn't matter if your channel's not monetized. It doesn't matter if you can run ads in your videos. It doesn't matter. You know, eventually you might reach a point where you can do that. But even if you can change one person or impact one person, or one person is educated by your story, or one person sees the world differently because of your story. And this is for me where I have worked myself into recently, okay, is that there's always going to be people that don't like me. There's always going to be people that question me. There's always going to be people, you know, like, listen, I learned that lesson before I even got sober, okay? So I know that. But there are so many people that like me. And there are so many people that like what I have to say. And you guys are the ones that I make the videos for. You guys that share with me and say, you know, thank you for sharing your recovery story. Thank you for talking about your mom. I got a message the other day from somebody. I don't know if I talked about this on here or not. I think it was so personal that at the time I didn't want to share it. And I was laying in bed and I got this email, and she had sent it to me early in the day. And she said, I'm taking my mother off of life support tomorrow. And I know that you've gone through something similar. And I didn't know who else to reach out to for advice. And you probably won't read this. Everybody always says that because I have such a hard time getting back to emails and stuff. And she said, you probably won't read this, something to this effect, but if you do, is there any advice you could give me, you know? And I remember like laying in bed and I just like was so moved to emotion, you know? And I was like, this woman, I've been there. I've taken my mother off life support, you know? This woman is taking her mother off of life support. The next 2 weeks are going to be hell. Funerals and family and just all of that. And she chose to share her story with me. Like, that is the power of a story. That right there is the power of a story. And you know what she'll do with that? Down the road when she meets somebody that's taking their mother off of life support. And yes, I did respond to her. She'll share her story with them. And so we heal through stories. And for 2 years, that's all I've tried to do on YouTube. And I'm so happy that you guys have given me the opportunity to do that. And these are tears of joy. I love YouTube. I love it so much. And I know that sounds so weird that you could love something that you never even knew that you wanted to be part of for so long, you know? But I do, I love it. I love it. And I would thank you so much, you guys. So, like Abby Lee Miller says, let's save our tears for the pillow. And I'm going to listen to the rest of my audiobook so I can start putting tomorrow. And thank you guys so much for allowing me to share my stories with you. And thank you for sharing your stories with me. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow.